Do you have social anxieties? If so, share with me how in the world are you dealing with them. Let's talk about it. Hey there, Kelly here, and welcome to a slice of my world. If you've not been here before, this is where I talk about battling my body with lupus and my life abroad. So before I was diagnosed with lupus, I was known as the Hurricane in Heels, that's the name of this channel, and I was everywhere. I was highly social. I was always at networking events, and I was doing fashion private parties and just all kinds of really cool, fun, and interesting things. Hey, pardon the interruption. I just wanted to share with you all 2 ways that you can support the channel should you choose to do so. The first is by visiting my website over at joyfullycolorful.com, where you can get yourself some really cute coffee mugs, you can get t-shirts, coloring books, and all those types of things, all designed by moi. So head on over to joyfullycolorful.com and see if you can find something that you absolutely love. And also, if you'd like to support the channel by staying here on YouTube, you can click the join button that you find below. In the join button, you will find behind the scenes things that you don't see on my normal YouTube channel, and also you will find that you can actually do some live chats with me where I speak directly to you, answer your questions about lupus and living abroad. So thanks for listening, and now let's get back to it. I got up and I says, I'm not gonna sleep all day, I'm gonna battle through it. And I had some friends who had a booth at a farmer's market, and I said, I'm going to see them at the farmer's market. And I went out there, and my body was like, you should really be at home, you should really be in bed. And I was like, nope, I'm going out here. And what ended up happening was I tossed my cookies and passed out in the bushes. And they had to, grab me up and put me in their truck and make sure I got home safely. And that was one of the very first things that lupus did to me, to let me know, hey, when I tell you to get somewhere and sit your butt down, that is exactly what you need to do. Now, for many of us, 2020 was a whole disaster. The whole social distancing thing, many of us closed ourselves up in our homes, especially if we had compromised or have compromised immune systems. But for me, my social distancing actually started a full year earlier. So in December of 2018, my doctor said to me, hey, you're in remission. And I was like, oh my gosh. My version of remission was that I was going to get my life back. I was no longer going to have fatigue. I was no longer going to have pain, and I was going to be good. I was going to be able to kind of get some semblance of normalcy back in my life. Well, that unfortunately is not what happened. Which really sent me spiraling into a really ugly place, because my idea of remission is not at all what I got. So for those of you that have been around here for a while, you already know, I tell you all, I got crazy lungs, but I also have an insane tummy as well. And whenever I eat something, the tummy sometimes will act crazy, and just breathing, sometimes the lungs will act crazy. And both of them cause me to cough. And they cause me to cough a lot. So during 2019, I literally coughed and lost pretty much anything that I ate for the entire year. And so the beginning of, so for 2019, I spent isolated because I never knew when I was going to lose whatever meal it was that I had. So as a result, in my home, you would have thought that I was collecting trash cans, because in every room that I frequented, there was a trash can. So there was a trash can in my dining room under the table. There was a trash can in my living room under the coffee table. There was a trash can next to my bed in my bedroom, and I would never allow that to be moved. There was a trash can under my sewing table. So there were trash cans everywhere, because I didn't get any warning. I would simply cough and lose my lunch, lose my breakfast, whatever it was. And so that became a very difficult situation for me. So towards the end of the year, October of 2019, I had a friend invite me to go see a movie, and it was a movie that I really wanted to see. And I was like, I'm gonna beat this. I'm gonna, this is just ridiculous, and I'm gonna get out, right? So we went out, he picked me up. About 5 minutes before he arrived at my doorstep, I tossed my cookies, and I happened to be in motion when I did it, and there was no trash can, so I had my meal, if you will, in my hands. So now I've got to rush and try to clean up and, get prepared for him to be there. And as soon as he arrived, I says, hey, this is what happened. Do you want to take a chance, or do you want to just reschedule for a different day? And he says, well, let's just take a chance and see what happens. And we went to the theater, never got inside of the theater because, one, I was freezing to death before we even got there. And when we left, we were going to go get drinks and dinner, but instead we spent an hour and a half on the side of the road, me tossing my cookies and trying to make light of it and laughing and telling him, well, at least you don't have to hold my hair back, because I was very uncomfortable, and humor is how I cope. So 2020, I started off in the hospital for 3 months, literally severely malnourished, about 94, 95 pounds. And some of you all know that, that situation as well. And because of that, I got home back here in Merida, and, and now, even now, I don't know what's going to happen when I cough. And there are times when I don't cough. I wake up or I sit up and I have no breath, no breathing, and I'm in a full-on panic, and I'm like, am I gonna breathe again? And the thing about it is, as soon as I start breathing, I take off running, because I know the next thing that's gonna happen is I'm gonna lose my lunch. So imagine being out to lunch with me. Imagine being out to dinner with me. So what had happened was I kind of shut myself down. I stopped going out, I stopped doing things. I rarely ever actually eat in restaurants unless I'm with certain people who truly understand what is going on with me. And if you invite me out to a meal in a restaurant, I will usually eat things that I know 100% have not set me off in the past, or I will eat before I leave, and then I will simply drink, out in public. So for me, it's really kind of a hit or miss, because I feel like I'm going to ruin people's evenings. And I've been around friends where I'll start having these major coughing fits, and everybody is, can we get you water? Take it easy. Go, it's okay. Take your time. And I'm like, I don't have any choice but to take my time. Coughing isn't going to stop. And so for me, I don't want all of that attention on me in that way. So again, I kind of push back and I stay to myself a lot. Well, I realize that that is not natural for my personality. It's not something that feels good. So I am trying to combat that, as I've done over the years, but I'm doing it kind of in my own setting, so to speak. So one of the things that I'm doing is, I love arts and crafts, guys. I do them. I do something every single day. I do something. If I'm not feeling ill, or if I've got 5 minutes where I'm like, okay, you got a little bit of energy, I try to do something. And so I've started hosting Airbnb experiences in my yard called Art for the Non-Artist, where we just kind of get together and we do an art project, and we just have a lot of fun and laughs and all of that. And I had stopped doing that clearly because of the pandemic, and now I'm starting to do that again. So my next event, we're going to be decorating holiday bottles for centerpieces for holiday parties. So I'm excited about that. The other thing that I've started doing is I host a one time a month meet and greet coffee for those who are coming to Merida and want to meet some new people. I just started that last month. This will be the month number 2, December. Excuse me, there's some coughing. And that is helping me to at least gather a lot of people at once, and they all kind of know, hey, I started off like, this is why I'm doing this, and I'm upfront and I'm honest. So when I start coughing, I kind of give them, hey, don't offer me water because I'm breathing. Definitely don't pat me on the back. I will get my composure again at some moment. Don't panic. Don't pay me any attention unless I fall on the floor. Then give me some CPR. So I'm trying to be upfront about what it is that I'm dealing with, but I'm also trying to make sure that I don't end up 100% isolated and not enjoying a good quality of life. So if you have social anxieties, Tell me what you're dealing with and how you're trying to overcome them, because your story may help someone like me and may help someone else out there in the world be able to figure out how to cope with these things. I haven't gotten it figured out, you guys. I'm still trying to find my way where I don't end up tossing my cookies and passed out in the bushes again and freaking people out around me. So it's, and it's really a mental thing also, where you're just like, oh God, what's gonna happen? So I just kind of want to hear from you all. Tell me what you're dealing with and how you cope through it. All right, if you have not subscribed, please do. And if you haven't hit that like button, definitely do that. And I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day. Ciao.